στην εκδήλωση που διοργάνωσε το Famagusta Association στο δωμάτιο 12 στο House of Commons. Η εκδήλωση πραγματοποιήθηκε με πρωτοβουλία του συνδέσμου Αμμοχώστου του Ηνωμένου Βασιλείου, του προέδρου του Δ. Βασίλη Μαύρου και των βουλευτών της διακομματικής επιτροπής του Βρετανικού Κοινοβουλίου για την Κύπρο. Ένα πιο ενεργό ρόλο από την Βρετανία στο Κυπριακό προς την κατεύθυνση άσκησης πίεσης της Τουρκίας ζήτησαν από τους βουλευτές της Διακομματικής Κοινοβουλευτικής Επιτροπής για την Κύπρο, μέλη της παροικίας, που συμμετείχαν στην εκδήλωση του Συνδέσμου Αμμοχώστου του Ηνωμένου Βασιλείου το βράδυ της Τετάρτης 25 Φεβρουαρίου. Το παρόν στην εκδήλωση έδωσαν οι βουλευτές των συντηρητικών Matthew Offord, που συντόνισε και τη συζήτηση, ο David Burrowes, αντιπρόεδρος, ο Σιρ Ρότζερ Γκέιλ και ο Νικ Ντεμπόα, Μάικαλ Φρίερ, οι εκπρόσωποι του Δημοτικού Συμβουλίου Αμμοχώστου Χρύσανθος Ζαννέτου και Κωνσταντίνος Τουμάζης, καθώς και δεκάδες Ελληνοκύπριοι και Τουρκοκύπριοι του Λονδίνου. Η εκδήλωση άρχισε με καλωσόρισμα από τον πρόεδρο της Επιτροπής, Matthew Offord, και στη συνέχεια ο πρόεδρος του Συνδέσμου Αμμοχώστου του Ηνωμένου Βασιλείου, Δ. Βασίλης Μαύρου, συνόψισε τις ενέργειες που έχουν γίνει για να προωθηθεί το αίτημα επιστροφής της Αμμοχώστου στους νόμιμους κατοίκους της. Ας παρακολουθήσουμε το καλωσόρισμα και ένα απόσπασμα από την ομιλία του Δ. Βασίλη Μαύρου.
But certainly that you're very welcome here in the House of Commons and to be with us today. I just want to say a few words about Cyprus. We know that it's very important to many people, not only here in our part of London and the part of both Nick's and David's, but also other parts of the world indeed. And we all do long for the day that there is a settlement, an agreement, and the island is able to come together once more. But some of us have been calling both here in Parliament and indeed out in the community for the issue of Famagusta particularly. And we feel that action and progress could happen unilaterally in regard to any kind of division or indeed reconciliation of the island. So we feel that could go ahead. And having visited Famagusta and that area, I would certainly like to see the port being allowed to use, and I think that would be good not only for the national trade, but also on an international basis as well. And these are issues that I know that David certainly has taken up with the Foreign Office in regard to putting some pressure upon all those involved, all those parties. We are expecting some other MPs along this afternoon as well. I know that Andy Love's confirmed that he will be attending, and also Sir Rotzer Γκέιλ will be coming in at one point. As I said, it's a very busy day for some reason in Parliament today, so people will be coming in as well. But I would like to first of all ask the President, not the Mayor, to say a few words on behalf of the problems of Cyprus particularly, and how, if he can explain how we can help as British parliamentarians. Thank you, Mr. President.
On behalf of Famagusta Association, UK, and our bi-communal committee, we would like to welcome the distinguished guests attending our meeting. Specifically, we would like to thank the members of Parliament of the APPG on Cyprus, specifically Dr. Matthew Offord, Chair of the British Cyprus All-Party Parliamentary Group, and the Vice Chair, David Burrowes, for organizing this important event, and other MPs, of course, for attending and participating in the discussion. We would like to stress that this bi-communal meeting is the first one on its kind that is organized in the House of Commons, and we sincerely like to thank the APPG for being the host of this evening. We particularly welcome the Council from the Cyprus High Commission, Solon Sava. The Mayor of Famagusta is apologizing for not being able to be here for this meeting today, but instead we have with us representatives of the Famagusta municipality, local councillors Χρύσανθος Ζαννέτου and Kωνσταντίνος Τουμάζης, whom we welcome. This is an important and a very special occasion for us, because the British members of Parliament embrace and support our efforts for the return of Famagusta to its lawful citizens, as it was agreed in the high-level agreements between Kyprianou Dektash of 1979 and the different United Nations Security Council resolutions, such as the 550 of the 1984 and the European Union declarations. The Famagusta Association of Great Britain is representing thousands of people who are displaced citizens of the Cypriot town of Famagusta and are now citizens of Britain. the association has embarked on a variety of campaigns to achieve the maximum possible pressure on Turkey so that it implements the high-level agreements and the United Nations Security Council resolutions to returning the city of Famagusta to its lawful inhabitants under the legitimate government of Cyprus. One of the results of our hard work was the signing of a petition for the return of Famagusta to its lawful inhabitants, in accordance with the high-level agreements between the two community leaders, the United Nations Security Council resolutions, as well as the European Union resolutions and declarations. Our petition has been signed by over 50,000 people, including many dignitaries. It is very important to point out that Turkish Cypriots worked with us closely for achieving these brilliant results. The petition was handed to the Honourable Prime Minister David Cameron, the British MPs and the Foreign Office, also to the former President of the European Commission, Mr. José Manuel Barroso, and the new elected President, Mr. Jean-Claude Juncker, the former President of the European Council, Mr. Herman Van Rompuy, and his successor, Donald Tusk, the President of the European Parliament, Mr. Martin Schulz, the leaders of the main British political parties, the General Secretary of the United Nations, the President of the United States of America, the 5 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council, and other leaders of the European Union. At the same time, we included in our campaign the results of the independent research work carried out in the occupied part of Cyprus by the Turkish Cypriot organization Famagusta Initiative, which clearly showed that 73% of the respondents, Turkish Cypriots and settlers, voted in favor of the return of Famagusta to its lawful inhabitants, and only 4% were against. Both parties share the same belief that the return of the town to its lawful inhabitants and the Famagusta port, initially under the administration of the United Nations and the European Union, will create the conditions for carrying out legally international trade. This will also pave the way for a comprehensive economic development program for the city to the benefit of both communities. These benefits shall strengthen the bond between the two communities, which through socio-economic and cultural cooperation will serve as a catalyst and the driving force in reaching the final solution to the Cyprus problem.
Στη συνέχεια τον λόγο πήρε και ο πρόεδρος του Τουρκοκυπριακού Δημοκρατικού Συνδέσμου, Φερντί Σουλεϊμάν, ο οποίος, αφού μίλησε για την κυπριακή τραγωδία, επέκρινε τις εθνικιστικές τάσεις σε αμφότερες κοινότητες και τόνισε πως οι Τουρκοκύπροι έχουν επίσης υποφέρει πολύ, τόσο ώστε να είναι σχεδόν μια αφανισμένη κοινότητα. Ας δούμε ένα απόσπασμα από την ομιλία του κ. Σουλεϊμάν.
I would like to mention that I'm a member of and on the management committee of a Turkish Democratic Association of Turkish Cypriots. This has been in existence since the early 1970s. We have quite significant number of members and even on our own premises. We're not directly affiliated to any political party, but we do work with any political organization, civil society groups, or professional organizations, artists, and for that matter, with anyone on both sides of the divide and outside the island who would support the concept of a united federal solution. We are based only in the UK, and our focus has always been the Turkish Cypriot community in the UK. The Cyprus problem, or what we call the Cyprus tragedy, has been running now for 60 years. If we accept that 1955 was the starting point of the rise of nationalism, we have always supported the Cyprus entity rather than the motherland solutions. To outsiders, the Cyprus problem appears to be one of never-ending intercommunal quarrel with no solutions in sight. However, if you zoom deeper into the historical facts, you will find something quite different. Against the rising tide of nationalism, there has always been a movement from both communities in favor of Cyprus becoming our common homeland for all who live in it. In fact, extreme nationalists from both sides have claimed the lives of many people, even within their own community, for daring to make a stand in the name of peace. But the biggest of all calamities were the intercommunal conflict of 1963 and 64, and the 1974 coup and Turkey's intervention. Without going into elaborate history of the Cyprus problem, we are today dealing with its aftermath, which is still waiting settlement. Over 2,000 people missing, thousands lost their lives, hundreds and thousands of Turkish and Greek Cypriot refugees displaced. 40 years on, and the pain still continues. The inability, or rather the unwillingness of political leaders to come up with settlement solutions has taken its toll on both communities. People cannot even plan tomorrow, let alone for the future of their children, and uncertainty is an additional curse which is added to the suffering. Without any disrespect to what the Greek Cypriot people have gone through, Turkish Cypriots have suffered to the extent that they are almost an extinct community. The referendum of 2004 carried a huge hopes for Turkish Cypriots and was also a moment that coincided with Erdogan's hopes of joining the European Union. Although Greek Cypriots express certain reservations and possibly some justifiable fears of some aspects of the Annan Plan, the no vote from the Greek Cypriot side had a massive demoralizing impact on the Turkish Cypriots. Those who spent a big part of their lives campaigning for a united Cyprus experienced nothing less than bereavement. People actually wept with mixed emotions of disbelief, anger, hopelessness, and the deliberate humiliation from those of the Turkish Cypriots who were campaigning for Mr. Dantaş's no vote.
Στη συνέχεια τον λόγο έλαβαν και οι Βρετανοί βουλευτές David Burrowes, ο Ντεμπόα και ο Σιρ Ρότζερ Γκέιλ, οι οποίοι έκαναν σύντομες ομιλίες και δήλωσαν την υποστήριξή τους στο δίκαιο αίτημα του συνδέσμου Αμμοχώστου να επιστραφεί η πόλη στους νόμιμους κατοίκους της. Ας παρακολουθήσουμε τι είπαν οι Βρετανοί βουλευτές.
Thank you very much, Vasily and Ferdi. Thank you very much, the Famagusta Association and the All-Party Parliamentary Group. I was involved in initiating this meeting because what I wanted us to have, which is what sad is a unique but overdue meeting, is one which is recognising from hearing sort of by communal voice supporting the return of Famagusta. And that is the primary focus of this meeting. We would want, as an all-party parliamentary group, for Cyprus to be in a position where we wouldn't spend our time, sadly, talking about what was described as a problem and a tragedy. For the time when we can see a reunified island of Cyprus on a just basis, that we're then able to talk about the wonderful opportunities and the important strategic value, and we're able to talk about the beautiful island of Cyprus in a way that goes beyond the issue of problem and tragedy. But we are where we are, and for far too long. And that's why I was seeking to ensure what can we do, and how can we be that proactive voice and ensure that we do what we all do. I mean, you're speaking to the converted here in terms of we are all out there doing all we can, speaking up for Cyprus, asking questions, challenging ministers all the time about the issue of Cyprus. But what can we do collectively with the community to seek, particularly when looking at the issue of Famagusta, to seek to see that catalyst to open doors, whether it's trade, but to justice and to a reunified island. And no better way of hearing that voice is to hear from both Vasily and Ferdi. So I thank you both very much for being able to say that this issue for all Cypriots, in fact, this is not just a special interest group as welcome as the Famagusta Association, and they do make their voice very loudly heard to myself and others regularly. It is not just an issue for the Famagusta Association. It's not just an issue for Cypriots or both communities. It's an issue for all who are concerned about justice and all who are concerned about humanity and human rights. And that's why we need to raise the game. And no better way from doing that, and no more obvious way, very apparently for all of us who've been to Cyprus, have we seen that, as we've seen the village frozen in time, of no more obvious injustice do we see anyone who goes near to the fences and sees that. But we all recognise that. Now, what can we do about it? I just want to talk very briefly what we can do about it, because that's what you want to know. We've had the petition. We've all been together. We were there on the steps of number 10 to deliver that petition. 50,000 is a very good tribute to you all for the huge number who are concerned. That went to the Prime Minister. He did actually respond very positively. His words are genuine. He's someone who said, both personally but also in the letter, he said how he is committed to seek that return. He has followed up, as have the Minister of Europe, saying on a number of meetings, not least with Turkey, where they are following up the issue and the need to comply with the resolutions which you've said. You've made reference and you've said to us, look, there's a now European Union Parliament declaration. Can we not do a similar declaration here? And that's what you've come to us previously and you want us to address. You say you don't just want the rhetoric, you want to see us active. Hopefully you'll know that we aren't here full of rhetoric. We are wanting, and we are doing all we can as parliamentarians to press the case. I would say that there are early day motions have been tabled. There are those that sign those that, as a matter of course, do not sign those, and those have been tabled. Those are traditional ways of a motion going down in one sense. But there is another form, and I know we've spoken about this, about whether there could be a motion before the House, not least a backbench business motion. We are running out of days of this Parliament, but my commitment to you, with other colleagues, is we will put that before the Backbench Business Committee to make the case and to put a stake in the ground, whether it's in this Parliament or the next Parliament, that we need to have a substantive motion that the House is able to consider on the issue of Famagusta. So we will do that. It won't have escaped you that there's an election somewhat 69 days away, and I think it's important that not only, hopefully, manifestos, and this is a cross-party, although you'll see Conservative members of Parliament here, this is an all-party parliamentary group, and we will look to see that in manifestos there's a clear commitment to the reunification of Cyprus, which we would expect to see as a clear foreign policy objective, and we'll make sure and seek to ensure that's happened. But at the election and with candidates, I think you should focus on the issue of Famagusta and say, okay, let's see how practical you are in showing this rhetoric as action. No better way than in terms of Famagusta to ensure that, yes, our candidate's going to say, we're going to make it a commitment when we return in a new Parliament to ensure that Famagusta is right up there as a parliamentary motion, right up there as a foreign policy objective, to seek that our concerns as guarantor powers for the sovereignty of Cyprus, for the issue of human rights, that Famagusta can't continue to be that frozen village, can't continue to have that injustice. And it makes no practical, makes no economic, makes no just sense for Famagusta to be frozen out. So we will press on that. And I say just, this is an issue for Parliament. It is also an issue for the community. I say this representing perhaps the constituency that has the largest numbers of Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots as a grouping. And it's an issue that's why it's so welcome, the joint voice, because we need to see this as an issue for all of us to take up. I mean, we have concerns. We had just a parliamentary debate, there's many of them about Gaza. And the issue, the call goes out to free Gaza and so forth. But and where's the call to go out to free Famagusta? This should be an issue that the young as well as the old take up as a cause. And we all have it up ourselves to ensure where we have the armbands or the Twitter, the hashtags, that to free Famagusta is something which is embraced by all Cypriots and all those of good conscience. Thank you.
Okay, brilliant. And 1 minute, so I've got to go.
So he's got to go. Yeah.
Hello, my apologies. I have to leave in 1 minute because I'm secretary of the 1922, which is meeting next door, and they can't start without me. But what I would like to say is, first of all, thank you very much for your presentations. Two quick observations, because I support entirely what David has said, is that I think you bring in the international perspective to it. The other examples around the world where there has been a success, coupled with David's call that Famagusta should be at a high mark on the agenda and that we should join the calls that we hear for other problems around the world. I think we as parliamentarians can do something about that. But I'm also touched by all of my numbers of visits that I have made to Cyprus, is that I often feel listening to the voice where there are not the politicians speaking. You spoke, I think, for many of the citizens that we meet right across the island who actually do want to see the politicians act, but sometimes we don't hear the voice of the citizens through the politicians, and I think you expressed that superbly today, and I'm very grateful for that. Thank you.
I'm not a citizen of Famagusta, but I am a citizen of Morphu. And I know over 32 years now of experience of what you so referred to as the Cyprus tragedy, which I think is a better description than the Cyprus problem. I know very well indeed the issues. People tend to forget that Turkish Cypriots have found themselves almost aliens in their own land, in the occupied territory. And while we tend to make greater contact with our Greek Cypriot friends, it is an absolute fact that for many Turkish Cypriots, this is a huge tragedy as well. And what we all want to achieve, and what we've all been working to achieve, and will go on working to achieve, is the unification of the island, the removal of troops from another country who have no place in a member state of the European Union, is the restoration of property where humanly possible, is the right of the freedom of movement of people to live and to work wherever they like, in freedom and in harmony. And the thing that struck me over my 32 years of contact has been that fundamentally there are two Cypriot communities that want to be able to live and to work together, and many of whom, up until the most recent generation, have spoken each other's languages, drunk each other's coffee, played each other's card games, shared each other's bars, enjoyed each other's lives. And we want to see the day when that situation is restored, when people can actually once again live in harmony on the island of Cyprus. Now, I don't believe that a guarantor power, the United Kingdom, can have achieved the unification of the two sides in Northern Ireland and brought together what had been warring communities and facilitated the restoration of peace in that province, but cannot make more effort to bring about the achievement of a resolution to the Cyprus tragedy. And I think that the steps that have been outlined here this afternoon, the opening up of Varosha and the restoration of the use of the port of Famagusta, with all the economic benefits that both of those moves would make, while they must not be seen as an end in themselves, would most certainly be a very significant step towards confidence building and ultimately towards the final solution that we all want to see, which is the reunification of the island under one government with one representation properly within the European Union. We will go on working for that. We will go on pressing our government until greater attention is paid. You can all play your part, and please help us to do so by making sure that, particularly, as has been said this afternoon, in the run-up to the general election, whatever your party politics are here, you make certain that the case for Cyprus, for a unified Cyprus, is brought home, is rammed home to the people of all parties who are standing in our elections here. The more people we get on side, the more members of Parliament of all parties that we get on side in this House of Commons, the more weight our arguments will carry. And I believe, and I still believe, that a resolution can and will be achieved. Thank you. I've got to go next door.
Ολόκληρες τις ομιλίες από την σημαντική εκδήλωση θα παρακολουθήσετε προσεχώς την εκπομπή με το φακό του Hellenic TV. Αγαπητοί φίλοι τηλεθεατές, αυτά είχαμε για σας απόψε. Στο σημείο αυτό να σας υπενθυμίσουμε ότι μπορείτε να επικοινωνείτε μαζί μας τηλεφωνικά στο 020 82 92 70 37 ή μέσω της ηλεκτρονικής μας διεύθυνσης info@hellenictv.net. Επίσης, μην ξεχνάτε ότι πλέον μπορείτε να παρακολουθείτε διαδικτυακά, αλλά και από το Roku Box της ΙΤΑ UK, τις αγαπημένες σας ελληνικές και κυπριακές σειρές, τις τοπικές παραγωγές του σταθμού μας, 14 ελληνικά κανάλια από Ελλάδα και Κύπρο, αλλά και πολλές κινηματογραφικές επιτυχίες. Πριν όμως αποχαιρετήσουμε, ας ρίξουμε μια γρήγορη ματιά στις επόμενες εκδηλώσεις. Το Σάββατο 7 Μαρτίου, η ΕΔΕΚ Ηνωμένου Βασιλείου διοργανώνει την ετήσια χορεσπερίδα του στο εστιατόριο Τρίος στο Palmer Screen. Την χορεσπερίδα θα τιμήσει με την παρουσία του ο πρόεδρος της Βουλής της Κύπρου, κ. Γιαννάκης Ομήρου. Την ίδια μέρα, ο Σύνδεσμος Κυπρίων Γυναικών Ηνωμένου Βασιλείου, με αφορμή την ημέρα της γυναίκας, διοργανώνει χορεσπερίδα στο Κυπριακό Κοινοτικό Κέντρο στις 7.30. Την Κυριακή 8 Μαρτίου, ο Σύνδεσμος Εφέδρων Καταδρομέων Αγγλίας διοργανώνει το ετήσιο μνημόσυνο του ήρωα Γρηγορίου Αυξεντίου στην Εκκλησία των 12 Αποστόλων στο Kentish Place Brumax Park. Αμέσως μετά ακολουθούν οι ταινίες «Η Δημοκρατία του Νέφους» και στη συνέχεια «Ο Βιολιστής της Φάπας». Τα προγράμματα που μπορείτε να παρακολουθήσετε το Σαββατοκύριακο είναι αύριο Σάββατο στις 7.30 την εκπομπή «Ανέσπερον Φως» που παρουσιάζει και επιμελείται ο πρεσβύτερος Σάββας Δαβίδ Βασιλιάδης. Αμέσως μετά στις 8 το βράδυ ακολουθεί η εκπομπή «Αύριο είναι Κυριακή» που επιμελείται και παρουσιάζει ο πρωτοπρεσβύτερος Ιωσήφ Παλιούρας. Την Κυριακή στις 7.30 μην χάσετε τη λογοτεχνική εκπομπή του Hellenic TV Τεχνόπολης με τον Ξενοφόντα Αντωνόπουλο και την Αναστασία 6 και αμέσως μετά ακολουθεί η εκπομπή Πρόσωπα με τον Βασίλη Παναγή. Τη Δευτέρα μην χάσετε στις 8 το βράδυ την εκπομπή με το φακό του Hellenic TV που θα σας παρουσιάσει την εκδήλωση που διοργάνωσε το Hellenic Psychiatric Association UK με θέμα The Asclepian Oration Changing Concerts of Autumns in the 21st Century. Την Τρίτη στις 8 προβάλλεται η εκπομπή Δράξαστε Παιδείας που επιμελείται και παρουσιάζει ο πατέρας Ιωσήφ Παλιούρας. Την Τετάρτη παρακολουθήστε στις 8 την εκπομπή με το φακό του Hellenic TV που θα σας παρουσιάσει την έκθεση γάμων που διοργανώθηκε στο Penrith, ενώ στις 10 την ίδια μέρα μην χάσετε την εκπομπή με το φακό του Hellenic TV που θα σας παρουσιάσει την μεγάλη γιορτή των 3 ιεραρχών που διοργάνωσε η Αρχιεπισκοπή Θειατήρων και Μεγάλης Βρετανίας στο Hellenic Center. Την Πέμπτη παρακολουθήστε το πολιτιστικό ημερολόγιο, μια εκπομπή με πολιτιστικό και ενημερωτικό χαρακτήρα που παρουσιάζει η Σουζάννα Καζάκα στις 8. Στο σημείο αυτό η εκπομπή «ΟΜΟΓΕΝΕΙΑ ΕΔΩ ΛΟΝΔΙΝΟ» έχει φτάσει στο τέλος της. Σας ευχαριστούμε που μείνατε μαζί μας και παρακολουθήσατε το πρόγραμμά μας. Περισσότερα νέα από την Ομογένεια του Λονδίνου θα παρακολουθήσετε στην επόμενη εκπομπή μας. Ας ανανεώσουμε λοιπόν το ραντεβού μας για την επόμενη Παρασκευή στις 8 το βράδυ. Καλό σας βράδυ!